This video was brought to you by Stormberg, a route planner, Mr. Green, Kempower and Marcus Bil. Yo, what's up? We are now sitting in a Tesla Model Y, and in this video I'm going to show you guys the charging session of the Toyota bZ4X. After the May update, they have done some improvements in the charging curve, especially past 80%. So yeah, let me just roll the tape here. So first thing I have to mention is that the one in the middle is the old one, and then one to the left is the new one. And also you see that we have 58 kilowatt hour versus 56 kilowatt hour before. But the old session was done at Ioniq, which was nice and quick. But the new session to the left was actually done at the hypercharger, and it seems like there was around 370 amp limit there, so I didn't get the full 145 kilowatt speed. But okay, close enough. Didn't want to redo this. I had limited time with the Toyota. But what I want to show you is what happens past 80% anyway. And also this time you see that the temperature was quite similar, 32 to 38 degrees Celsius on this run versus the middle one is a 32 to 80, pretty much on par with there. And then also, yeah, include Model Y long range, because actually the price on Model Y long range is similar to the bZ4X all-wheel drive, but it's a bigger battery. And then as a comparison, you see that it charges relatively nice and flat. You see, even at 40%, we're taking almost 100 kilowatt. This is before it throttles, of course. When it throttles, that's a different story. But compared to Tesla, okay, that's a bigger battery, but you see that Tesla starts throttling a little bit. Now we are down to around 100 kilowatt at around 50%. So when at least when the Toyota bZ is not throttled, it actually has a fairly nice and flat-ish charging curve. So this is what matters actually for most people, because they will be charging like this and they're not going to hammer it to 1,000 kilometers. And for most day-to-day driving, even for road trips, as long as you don't travel too far per day, then you will be enjoying this nice and flat charging curve. So yeah, one thing I should notice, I should tell you guys, by the way, the bZ4X will rapid gate. If the max temp hits 48 degrees Celsius, you will see more throttling than right now. But I try to not hammer too hard, and that's why we are not seeing any throttling or any rapid gate here. But in comparison, you see that Model Y actually goes way higher temperature. They go freaking 58 degrees Celsius, versus here when it goes relatively cold. But okay, so not much going on here, and naturally, of course, since Model Y has a bigger battery versus the Toyota, then yeah, it's lower speed. But you can see that roughly, actually, right now the Toyota versus Tesla, they have similar state of charge, but Toyota still gets okay speed here. So we just have to wait until what happens at 80%. So yeah, these two sessions, by the way, the old Toyota session and the new Toyota session, yeah, the new one was slightly slower because of the amp limit. I should have used Ioniq, but it was just extra hassle, and I had some limit of how long I could borrow the Toyota. So just bear that in mind. But it was fairly optimal, both of these, in terms of at least battery temperature. There shouldn't be any cold gate or rapid gate in these two sessions. But still, you see that even close to 80%, we are getting okay speed. Yeah, like 40 kilowatt roughly. Tesla is starting to slow down a bit, but not much going on there. Just have it as a comparison. And now, okay, just wait and see now. Yeah, okay, it started already on the middle there. You see that past 80%, it goes really slow, to the point where it's almost pointless to charge. You might as well charge on AC. Yeah, by the way, the bad luck with a press car. Okay, no, I'm gonna show you. Yeah, you see that, but the new to the left one, it's way faster. Even past 80%, you get over 35 kilowatt, or roughly 35. That is way better. But yeah, when I did that trip to Göteborg, it just happened to be that the press car I got had only one-phase charging, but all the customers' car that people received, they had three-phase. So that was a little bit unfortunate for me. I didn't know it, and then yeah. So, but okay. But look here, even at 85%, we are getting pretty good speed here. Yeah. So I'm going to show you guys the curve soon, but I'll just show that, okay, so it goes, before it was dog slow. It was so slow that past 80%, you don't bother fast charging it. It was actually just like Ford Mach-E. Mach-E was also like this, past 80%, dog slow. But now it's actually a lot better also on the Mach-E, and the same here for the bZ. So you know, if you have to drive far, or if you for some reason camp long time and you're having dinner or something, I don't know, who knows, you will actually get okay charging speed. Like even past 90% now, you see, you get pretty good speed. So yeah, let me just just let it run, and you will see what happens. I document everything here so you can see how the car charges, because normally if you are an owner, you don't see this. You just plug it in and you don't sit and wait. And actually, what you do not, normally you don't even see this, because the car doesn't show you how many kilowatt is charging on the car's display. Okay, if you're on a Kempower or if you're on an Ioniq charger, you can see the kilowatt on the screen there. But if you're busy doing something else, then you don't really know what's going on. So at least here you get an idea of how many kilowatt it is charging. So if you can see maybe in the app that you have 95%, you will know that under ideal conditions, you see you're still getting okay speed. Yeah. Well, but just keep in mind that 96% now on the one to the left here, it's actually 92% real state of charge. And I mean, is this number that we get reported from car scanner, is that just a random number? Can we trust it? Yeah, I think so, because when I went to 0% on the display, it still showed 9% on the state of charge thing here, and then eventually when I drove it down to absolute 0, then it was actually more or less 0% in this display. So yeah, so this is probably the true state of charge, which means that when you have almost 100%, it will actually stop now. It will not go to 100% for some reason. It will stop pretty soon. You see that roughly 100% of the display is actually only around 94%, actually, if we would charge 100%. Yeah, that was also another thing. You probably saw that in the video on the road trip I had, right? Is that on DC, the Toyota will stop at, well, more or less random. This time it stopped at 98%. When I did the range test, it stopped at 99%, and then when I had a nap at Ioniq Strømstad, it stopped at 97%. So roughly there, 97 to 99%, it will stop the DC charging, but then you can actually plug in an AC charge, but then it will take around 45 minutes to fully charge it to 100%. It seems just the way the Toyota have programmed it. Maybe they don't want people to sit and camp at the DC fast charger. And then here, yeah, I didn't bother including Tesla charging curve here, but because that would be too high and then everything would be crushed. So, but here, at least I want to show you guys the differences. So you see that the red line here is a new session. That's the old one. So the old one had a nicer, higher curve. But was that because of Ioniq? No, it seems like, I mean, eventually these two should fall in the same line, but they didn't. And you guys saw it that the battery temperature was similar. So I actually suspect that the old curve was faster than the new one. So what Toyota probably did was that they kicked back a little bit on the like the average over here until 80%, and then at least you get that nice flat curve down here also, whereas before it was just useless past 80%. So this is a reprogram. It's like what I got the impression of after testing so many EVs over the years. Like I'm going to show you here. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's plenty of more data here, plenty of charging sessions. What I've seen is that it's like there is like a quota, or you know how much you can charge before the battery starts getting exhausted, or how, yeah. So basically what I'm saying is that before, yeah, so you got a nice and high curve, right? But then you kind of used up all the quota and then you have to drop it here, or they just chose to do it. But by kicking back a little bit on the speed, it's like then you can go flatter and longer without hurting the battery too much, something like that. So which one would you guys choose? Would you guys choose the old curve that goes like this, or would you choose the new curve? Yeah, I'm not sure which one I want. Yeah, I'm actually a fan of just charging fairly quickly, not much past 70-80%, but I guess the problem with Toyota is that it might not have the best range, which means that you might want to go for 90% or even slightly more once you stop for juice somewhere. So, but okay, anyway, now I have documented the differences, and I think the sessions I had, even though it wasn't optimal, it was nearby my home here at the hypercharger, it was still good enough to show you guys the differences, because many people want to see. It was bad before with past 80%, but it's actually a lot better. So the Toyota, after testing it for actually some extended time now with the 1,000 kilometer challenge, with the trip, with all that stuff. I did also range test to check the consumption, and that they open up the zero. I mean they open up the bottom buffer, but I also did drive it to complete zero until it stops. So that will be in another video. After testing all that stuff, my impression is actually that the Toyota has been improved quite a lot with software. So it was like the old version, they had too many pointless restrictions, and they realized it themselves. Fortunately, Toyota, that it was a little bit too much, so they can just ease off on some of the restrictions, and they're still not going to kill the battery. So yeah, so I think that's good that they made the car more usable than before. Because how important is it to have 1 million kilometer warranty if very few people buy them, right? So yeah, okay. But anyway, I think that's going to be it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.